ordering co-officials. So indirect speech now is the officer ordered to fall back. Next, reporting exclamatory sentences. To change direct exclamatory speeches to the indirect one, we need to replace interjection hurrah, wow, Alice, oh, etc. with joining clause that and the exclamatory WH words what, how will be replaced by very before the adjective in the reported clause. So first example we have here our direct speech. Claire said, "Hurrah! Barcelona won the match." So when we will transform it to indirect speech, it will become Claire exclaimed with joy that Barcelona had won the match. So it will not anymore be said, it will be exclaimed with joy. Or we can use exclaimed with grief, exclaimed with sorrow, exclaimed sorrowfully, depending on the feeling of the speaker. So our indirect speech is Claire exclaimed with joy that Barcelona had won the match. For our direct speech, another example, I said, "Alice, my pet died." So this I am sad because my pet died. So indirect speech now is I exclaimed with grief that my pet had died. Next, we have here the tense. Usually, the present changes to past tense while we change direct speech to indirect speech. Simple present tense to simple past tense. We have here some examples. Direct speech. She said, "I work in New York Times." So for indirect speech, it will become she said that she worked. The simple past of work is worked, add ed, worked in New York Times. That is now our indirect speech. So another example, direct speech. Jim said, "Bill loves to drink wine." For indirect speech, it will become Jim said that Bill loves. Remove the S and add D, loved to drink wine. That is for simple present, simple past. So if the content is still true or happening, then we do not need to change the tense in the reported speech. For example, she said, "I live in Paris." I'm still living in Paris. So indirect speech is she said that she lives in Paris. Next, present continuous to past continuous tense. Example, number 1, direct speech. Mother said, "Bob is taking a nap." Then for indirect speech, it will become Mother said that Bob was plus ing was taking a nap. That is present continuous to past continuous. So another example, direct speech. He asked, "Are they writing the paper?" For indirect speech, it will become he asked if they were writing plus ing were writing the paper. Next, present perfect to past perfect tense. Example, direct speech. Nicholas said, "I have made a donut." For indirect speech, it will become Nicholas said that he had made a donut. From present perfect to past perfect. Had made. He had made a donut. Another example, direct speech. The teacher said, "The dates have been decided." So for indirect speech, the teacher announced that the dates had been decided. That is our past perfect tense of have been decided. Had been decided. So our indirect speech is the teacher announced that the dates had been decided. Present perfect continuous to past perfect continuous tense. Example, Mr. Parson asked, "How long have you been working here?" So for indirect speech, it will become Mr. Parson asked me how long I had been working there. Actually, there is a error here. It it must not be question mark. Omit the question mark here and the quotation mark. That will be changed into period. Okay. Then another example. Direct speech. The boy said, I have been waiting for my mother since morning. For indirect speech, it will become, the boy said that he had been waiting for his mother since morning. So from present perfect continuous to past perfect continuous, have been waiting. So it will become, he had been waiting. Next, let's move on to simple past to past perfect tense. Example, direct speech. Robert Langdon said, my mother gave me the Mickey watch, not Mickey Mouse, Mickey watch. For indirect speech, it will become, Robert Langdon said that his mother had given the Mickey watch to him. Had, from simple past to past perfect tense. Gave and had given. Another example, direct speech. The teacher said Shakespeare's playing company built Globe Theatre in 1599. For indirect speech, it will become, the teacher said that Shakespeare's playing company had built the Globe Theatre in 1599. Had built, that is the past perfect tense of built. Next, past continuous to past perfect continuous tense. Examples for direct speech. Jenny said, Marlo was leaving Belgium. For indirect speech, it will become, Jenny told me that Marlo had been leaving Belgium. That is the past perfect continuous of was living. That is the past continuous. Past continuous to past perfect continuous. It become had been living. Other example, direct speech. Maria said, I was dialing your number and you called. For indirect speech, it will become, Maria said that he had been dialing my number and I called. So had been dialing. That is the past perfect continuous of was dialing, which is past continuous. Next. Note, it is important to take note that if two sentences are combined with a conjunction and both sentences have different tenses, then we need to change the tenses of both sentences according to the rule. Next, we have here past perfect tense does not change in indirect speech, so it will not change. Example, direct speech. She said, Greece had tried to uphold their economy. So let's turn it into direct speech. It will become, she said that Greece had tried to uphold their economy. So it wasn't changed. Still had tried. Because past perfect tense does not change in indirect speech. Next, simple future tense to present conditional. Example, direct speech. Smith said, my parents will be there at 9 a.m. For indirect speech, it will become, Smith said that his parents would be there at 9 a.m. Simple future will be there, it will become present conditional would be there. Another example, direct speech. Barbara asked, will you be my partner in the coming summer ball? So if we'll transform to indirect speech, it will become, Barbara asked if I would be her partner in the coming summer ball. Will become would. Next, modals. Modal verbs like shall, will, can, may change in recorded speech. Let's follow some examples. Direct speech. John said, I will be there. For indirect speech, it will become, John promised. He promised. We'll put here promise. John promised that he would be there. Will return to would be there. Direct, another example, direct speech. The boy said, may I come on? Ah, this is an error too. It must be in, not on, in. So for indirect speech, the boy asked if he could come in. Note, may becomes could when it implies permission. So in direct speech, the boy asked if he could come in. On is error, no? That is in. Sorry for the error. Another example, direct speech. Bobby said, I may not call you. So if we return it into indirect speech, it will become Bobby said that she might not call me. Next, more examples. We have here direct speech. Barbara said, I shall practice more. For indirect speech, it will become Barbara said that she would practice more. Shall to would. Direct speech, another example. Joseph said, shall I buy the car? And direct speech. Joseph asked if he should buy the car. Shall to should. Note, shall becomes should if it implies a question. So that's why we notice here, right, that a former example, it is also shall, but it was turned to would. Then how come shall here became should? Because it implies a question. So if it is a statement, it will be would. Shall to would. But if it's a question, shall to should. Next, modal verbs like could, should, need, must, might, used to do not change in reported speech. For example, direct speech. She said, I would not be the victim. For indirect speech, it will become she said that she would not be the victim. It don't change, right? Another example, David said, you need to repair the car. For indirect speech, it will become David said that I need to repair the car. Still the same. Another example, Mary said, I used to love dancing. For indirect speech, it will become Mary said that she used to love dancing. Adverbs and demonstratives. Indirect speech differs from the direct speech's time and place. When someone is conveying the message to the listener, the speaker might not be in the same day or place. So, the demonstrative, this, that, there, etc. And the adverb of time and place, here, there, today, now, etc. change. So, let's refer to this table, direct to indirect. We have here now, it will become then or at the moment. And today, it will become that day. Tomorrow, it will become the next day. And yesterday, it will become the day before. And come will become go. Bring will become take. And this become that. Let's have some examples. For direct speech, I said, Simon read Wordsworth yesterday. Sorry for that. Simon read Wordsworth yesterday. For indirect speech, it will become I said that Simon read Wordsworth the day before. It's not anymore yesterday. It's read it the day before. Because direct speeches differs from direct speech time and place. When someone is conveying the message to the listener, the speaker might not be on the same day or place. That is why it will come the day before. Next is direct speech. Mother said, come home now. For indirect speech to become, mother ordered me to go home at the moment. So now become at the moment. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Once again, this is Narjay Pato.